couple of days ago, I came on here and I told you that your software moat was gone, that AI is coming in and it makes it so easy that barrier that we once had, the level of resources needed to create the products that others maybe couldn't create, is gone. And I'll leave a link in the description or whatnot if you want to go watch that. But it's propelled forward the ability to do those tasks, which puts in question what's a developer, a software engineer, web developer, or whatever we're calling it these days, right? The advent of vibe coding, and all to say we have tools, right? Our toolbox got bigger in that toolbox. It came with some big tools to make things go really fast. And so then you go, well, like, what's the value of the developer? And there's a whole bunch of arguments going on, and you're hearing people now say like enterprise grade and this and that. And I don't think our roles, like the developer role, is going away by any stretch. I don't think that. It is certainly morphing in how we do things and how fast we can do them. And I think architecture will be a huge play of like, how do we construct things sort of maintainable, whatever. A long time ago, I looked at XML and thought, shit, we can configure things and poof, things magically happen. But let's take that a step further and let's think about knowledge. When I first saw the internet, I was like, holy shit, I can go from here to the other side of the world and talk with somebody or see some information. Like the expansiveness of our surroundings became infinite. And I mean, now still live in a little fucking country town in the middle of nowhere and think I can only do what we're doing here because I have the internet to like send things to places. And that's like banger awesome. And it created this whole economy around it, of which we could do marketing. And then we saw apps and SaaS products, right? And then the moat, like I'm getting there. I promise I'm getting there. But the internet gave us such this vastness to connect with others. So here we are, clearly on the dawn of something monumental, right? I don't want to predict what AI will become, whatnot, but I think that we can all say that this, while overhyped in some places, underhyped in others, this is a fundamental change to how we interact in society today. In part, much like the internet, what has AI done for us? It's given us infinite knowledge. Maybe that should be the thumbnail. Ooh. Infinite knowledge. And I want you to just think about that for a moment. We used to have to hunt and gather for that knowledge, right? And not that we don't have to do that with AI, but I can literally just go to the phone, ask a question, and the next thing I know, I got a 30-page presentation of some deep research that would have taken weeks, if not months before. Like, and look, I know you know that, like, I know you're already using the tool. So I know that you kind of get that, but I want you to get that. Like, think about why a lawyer is paid so much money. It's because, always behind them in the TV, they got all those books and shit that they've gone, and they gatekeeped a little bit with, you got to have a bar exam and this and that. You know what we do now? My company. We take your contract and we load it into ChatGPT and ask it what we should do so that we can go back to the person who's got all the fucking money and go, I don't want it that way. So when we all have access to the same pool, and I don't mean access like, hey, Clark, you could have done that before on the internet. I don't know why I keep doing this. I mean, we had access before on the internet. Like, yeah, of course. But now we have access in a whole different way. which means the gatekeeping of knowledge is what? Gone? Not worth anything? Now, I'm sending a kid to college, not necessarily for the knowledge aspect of college, but for the how do you learn? How do you be nimble? How do you reach outside of your comfort zone? Like, I'm not pretending that what he's learning right now is useful by any stretch. I am saying that the process of which he's going through is very useful, and there should be some core fundamentals that come out of that like work for future self. But when knowledge is free, but free in such a way that it's so fucking powerful at your fingertips, then what happens to the economic models that we have? I mean, I came on here and said that the software mode is gone, and if we all could just build software quickly, then I don't really need to pay for the HubSpot or that. I'll just make my CRM, and by the end of the day, it's fine. Now, look, there's a bunch of hyperbole. Almost. I almost had it. To get us there, but you just have to you have to ask, I'm sitting here going, what am I in this new economic model? Am I just like a puppet master of things? Like, I told you to be a problem solver, to be creative, right? And I'm thinking about things like distribution. And then I think, well, what are we distributing? Like shit from Temu? No. I've been in the knowledge world. I've been in, I think it's called information knowledge. I don't know, whatever the sector of the past 20 years has been around pushing data around. And we, while need to be creative and need to be a problem solver, the economic vastness of what we live in is changing. And I can't articulate it, and I'm not one of these, I don't know. Look, there's lots of people talking about this. I'm just saying, the further I get into this, the further the eyes become open. Let me give you a scenario. You ever got that car and you're like, oh, that's a pretty cool car. And you're like, I don't really see many of those. And then you buy the car and then you realize your neighbor has one and the neighbor across the street has one and everybody else in the world has the same car. It's sort of like that. I've gotten into this and I've gone, yeah, I see it. And then you're like, oh, fuck, it's everywhere. And it's just like, I just want you. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm not trying to put you in a place where you're like, I'm not fear-mongering. All I want you to do is step back, zoom out a little bit, and think about some of the core principles of which we've been in, and think about your skills. Because this is what I'm doing. I'm thinking about, what does unspecified do? Where are we in this? Where are we playing? I got no fucking revenue coming in. We are taking a bet on ourselves. I am looking at this and saying, there is this gold rush of things coming. A lot that we don't understand, a lot that we can't predict, opportunities that are endless, things everywhere. So I try to remain positive. But then I look back and I go, you were like this for the last 25 years. And those tendencies, those habits, that mindset, great at the time, needs to change. And so the point of this whole rant and a lot of this in things is to sit here and just get you to think and realize that the shit is changing, like everything. If you're in the knowledge space, yeah, we buckle up because it's just got fucking real.